I recently took a long weekend trip to New Orleans. What I packed and why I brought it, all those things. Stick around. I group all of my travel stuff into basically three categories: entertainment, personal care, and personal defense. There are subcategories of each of them. But when we're talking about the plane and the airport, in theory, life is a little easier in theory for personal defense. So entertainment and productivity are kind of what I really care about. Tablet, I got my script on it right now. Obviously your smartphone, having things like that. I also like to have a backup e-reader because I have triple redundancy, like a Kindle or whatever your e-reader of choice is. Those are kind of where I spend most of my time when it comes to just entertainment, because I can watch videos on a couple of these, read a book, or if I was too dumb to download stuff, hopefully at least I have another book I can read on there. Currently reading In Defense of the Second Amendment by Larry Correa, by the way. Excellent read if you've never read it, no matter where you stand on the whole gun thing, but that's in and of itself something you might want to check out. Let's see. My final backup is typically a stack of the old gun rags. And I like Shooting Illustrated. It's probably the only NRA publication worth anything. And so I always like those. I don't collect them typically, so I usually consider them semi-disposable when I travel. And recoil, while I like it, same thing. I don't have like a grand stack of them sitting back at the house. I hang on to them for a little while, but at the end of the day, these are read and discard kind of materials. But like I said, good backup. And anytime you bring magazines on a trip, I don't really sweat like bringing them back. Obviously, electronic devices and things like that, that's a whole nother story. So I've really got to like things I want to hang on to, things I don't. My idiot self left the Kindle on a plane one time, and miracle of miracles, I actually got it back. But it was like a month before the airline ever managed to get it back to me. So I try not to mess with that. Now, when it comes to personal comfort, let's see. Let me drag out the old noise-canceling headphones. Always a sweatshirt and some other stuff. But these are some Anker Liberty 30s, I think. The Soundcores. For headphones under $100, when it comes to noise canceling, these things are awesome. If you want like God tier noise cancellation, you're probably going to want the Bose. But the Bose roll in at like 300 plus. These were like 85-ish bucks. I'll put a link in the description. But their noise cancellation on the plane, it's real. Like I've taken them on and off. I'm like, yep, that makes a huge difference. So headphones are awesome. Earbuds are okay, but I like headphones. They're more comfortable for longer on the plane. I don't know if you guys noticed, but I also have the old neck pillow. I'm not too wound up about the brands, makes, models. Like if you don't have a neck pillow, you can totally wait till you get to the airport to buy one. But these are awesome, and I always try and get a little bit of a nap on the plane if I can. 20 to 24 bucks at the airport, good to go. So that's not something I'd worry about until you get to the airport, because they're ubiquitous at the airport. I've never seen an airport not have stacks of them at every kiosk. I will say that every airport I'm ever in, there is zero humidity, so I usually carry some sort of lip balm with me. I was wondering if TSA was going to have any issues with this, and apparently they did not, at least for me. I like Balmshot. It's made in the US. It doesn't have a bunch of weird chemicals in it. And if you go to their website, like I won't beat it up, but they're pretty cool. Like I said, American company. So, I know I'm always buying Chinese stuff like knives, flashlights, but when I can buy American, I buy American. So that lip balm helps me a lot. And airplanes, there's like zero humidity, so that's always helpful. You saw that I had a sweatshirt. Like I always try and bring a sweatshirt because hot on the outside, and then you get on the plane and it just wrecks you in terms of being cold. And even with a little bit of extra chunk on me, that temperature difference is real. So a sweatshirt in the backpack is always useful. Now, when it comes to personal defense in the airplane, guys, or in the airport itself, for the most part, I think situational awareness will carry the day. Pay attention to what's going on around you. It is likely that you will be fine. Most problems, unless you're jammed into a security line, can be solved or settled by you going someplace where the problem is not. However, in cases where that isn't possible, like I can't run away, can't get away from the problem, I'm a big fan of having harsh language, some combative skill, probably not a bad thing. If you ever studied any Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Muay Thai, boxing, or wrestling, those will serve you well. Highly recommend those. Lastly, I always cart around a flashlight, and this is the Fenix PD36 TAC. Dan was asking me, hey, is this still your favorite flashlight? And it is. I have brighter flashlights. You guys have seen those in other videos. But this one, in terms of size, durability, switching, you can lock it out. Still plenty bright. It's not so tactical looking that the TSA is going to confiscate it. But if you use it to give somebody a little bit of love, it'll still work. So for all those reasons, I still like this flashlight. Still my number one recommendation. You know, there are other considerations. If you want something smaller or if you want something brighter, I'm going to point you in two different directions. But if you want an all-around perfect flashlight as of April 2023, this is your jam, the Fenix PD36 TAC. I take that anywhere with me. I've seen some people carry tactical pins. The problem with those is if they are sharp enough to do real work, the TSA is probably not going to be really happy with them, and you end up donating that to the TSA fund for wayward children, i.e. they'll stop terrorism with your pen. Merry Christmas. So I like something like a zebra pen. It's metal. You know, if you need to use it for a bludgeoning or a poking device, it only costs a few bucks. If you lose it or whatever, I'm not going to cry. Most of the tactical pins I've seen out there cost anywhere from like 30 to 100 bucks. There's one that I like, but I don't even carry it on the plane, and it was not horribly expensive, and I'll probably link to that one too in case you're just like, oh my God, Jay, I have to have a tactical pin. I got a recommendation for you, but in general, I don't bother with that. One thing that is notably absent from my case of stuff is a med kit. I didn't bring one with me this time, and that was dumb of me. In the future, you're going to see me with a boo-boo kit and a tactical kit, i.e. tourniquets, chest seals, hemostatic gauze, all that stuff. TSA doesn't balk at those things. I've talked to numerous people who've traveled with them. A basic med kit, like I've never had any issue with when I throw it in the bag, but I need to upgrade that. So if you're going to subtract 10 points from House Grey Dog, that on this trip I was a little underprepared. Sorry, I'm a bad person. I should mention before I go any further, this is a backpack that I got off of Amazon. It is cheap, inexpensive, holds a lot of junk, including extra charging stuff. You can put water on the side once you get through security. This does not scream tactical. I don't even know if they're making this specific model anymore, but it is literally an Amazon Basics backpack. It's got a space for a good sized laptop in the back if you need to cart around a laptop for your work. And I legit think this was like maybe 30 bucks. You know, it's not gonna work for a huge EDC pack, but like I said, if you're trying to be somewhat nondescript in the airport, something like this, like I said, an Amazon backpack, that's your best bet in my opinion. Once you get to your destination, the rules may change depending on where you went. In that case, I'm going to obviously pop out the gun and the knife. I'll check the gun. Then obviously when I get to where I'm going, I have to load it. If you're really at a place that's not all that awesome, you can certainly stop in the restroom at the airport and load up. I've done that before. It just depends on the quote threat profile I think I'm gonna have to deal with. I didn't bother this go around. I just waited till I got to the hotel, loaded everything up. I'll roll in some footage. You can see that. It's not sexy. Everybody here, I believe, knows how to load a magazine, properly load a pistol. But nevertheless, when I get there, if I am lawfully allowed to carry a gun, I'm going to carry a gun. And when I go to a city that's a little more sporty than where I currently reside, that goes double. I tend to carry a gun almost everywhere that I can, but there are some places where, like, if the circumstances were conspiring to make it harder, it would still be like not negotiable. I'm going to carry a freaking gun with me, and that's one place. Obviously, you want to have a decent knife with you. Here's my Civivi, what is this, the Cogent in S35 VN. Still love this knife, by the way. I was doing some dressy stuff on occasion on this trip, so I wanted something that looked a little, quote, gentlemanly, and I think this one fits the bill, and it's still like freaking stupid sharp. S35, guys, it's not, it's still hair shaving sharp. If this is not as good as MagnaCut, and I know, like, when I went on my rant about MagnaCut, some people are like, oh, any steel will do. Well, any steel will do. S35 VN will do. This is a good knife. You know, is it super high dollar? No. Is it a nice knife though? Yeah. So if it got lost or stolen, I don't know that I'd start crying and everything, but at the same time, like, this is a good balance of it'll do good work and it's not the end of the world if it goes away. In general, guys, I like to also have obviously plenty of cables for charging. Like I have adapters for every freaking device that I have. I still have at least one micro USB device as well as a USB-C. And I always carry around, let's see if I still got it in here. I rearranged, oh yeah, a small battery pack. Let me move this out of the way so you can actually see it. This one's small, it's only like 5,000 milliamp. I don't even know if Anker still makes this one anymore, but I have legitimately had this thing for a decade at this point, or darn close. It charges via micro, and the output is just your standard USB, so you can put any cable into it. This has saved my bacon so many times, so many trips. At work, back when I was on patrol, it doesn't weigh much, got a little case for it. So at the end of the day, like most airports, there's plugs now. You can find stuff. You can also get plugs on the airplane itself, and that really helps a lot. I always carry, obviously, some extra meds in case I'm feeling like crap. Aspirin in this case, but you know, Tylenol, whatever your med of choice is. I think that's about it, guys. Oh yeah, and I always run around with some cheap sunglasses. And while I'm traveling, I try to travel with sunglasses that don't scream tactical. They just look like sunglasses. So the big gas can Oakleys are kind of out when it comes to traveling. I try not to do that because those, you know, I've been told many times, scream cop or military or both. So like I said, I'm trying to go a little more low key when I can. But I think that's it. Yeah, I think that's it, guys. I don't want to beat this up, but that's what I carted around on my last trip where I got on an airplane. All this stuff came in super handy, like across the board. Every single bit of this kit that I popped out, I used for entertainment or used while I was out, with the exception of the gun. The gun was the comfort factor, where have it and not need it, then need it and not have it. I'm going to end this here. I'm going to try and keep this video like, I don't know, like 5-6 minutes. I know some of mine get to way too long. I appreciate you guys watching. Thanks for putting up with my dog running around the side of my bed, or both of them. That's what they do. And I'll talk to you guys soon. Take care. Stay safe.
Get 'em, Jay.